Traveling with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome means I can't just wing it through the airport. I have to plan, pace, and prioritize my body, especially because it doesn't always give me early warning signs. On travel days, my biggest challenges are orthostatic intolerance, joint pain, and fatigue. And airports? They're basically an obstacle course for all three. So here's how I make it work without pushing past my limits. I start by eating light but healthy. I make sure I don't eat too much, so I don't feel bloated or sluggish, but I get enough energy to support my body through the stress of travel. I also keep healthy snacks with me, like protein bars, and combine complex carbs and protein. They help me maintain steady energy and manage my symptoms between meals or gait changes. And I also make sure to take my medications. Next, compression socks. These are non-negotiable for me. They help my blood circulate better, reduce pooling in my legs, and give me a better shot at staying upright longer. I usually put them on before I leave for the airport, so I'm supported from the get-go. They're not always the comfiest, but they're absolutely worth it, especially on long travel days when I'd otherwise end up lightheaded or feeling like I might faint. I also make sure I have a water bottle with me at all times. Staying hydrated is one of the most important things I can do to help prevent orthostatic intolerance. I always empty my water bottle before getting to TSA, but after security, most airports have refill stations, so I top it up right away. Some people find electrolyte drinks helpful for boosting hydration, especially those with pods, but I personally don't use them. They tend to give me headaches, so I stick to plain water. It's a small habit that helps me feel more stable and more in control. Next, I request a wheelchair. Yep, even if I look fine, even if it feels awkward, even if my brain screams that I'm taking up space someone else needs more. The truth is, walking long distances in the airport, or worse, transferring between terminals, can trigger days of joint pain, flares, and full-on dysautonomia meltdowns. Wheelchair service doesn't make me weak. It helps me conserve my energy for what matters, getting safely to my destination. And the staff, they're usually kind, helpful, and completely used to this. Another thing I do, elevate my legs whenever I can. This looks different depending on where I am. Sometimes I sit cross-legged in a quiet corner at the gate. Sometimes I prop my feet up on my suitcase if I'm waiting in the wheelchair. People might glance, but honestly, most are too busy with their own travel stress to care. And even if they did, it's still worth it to minimize the dizziness and pain later. Once I get on the plane, I focus on giving my joints the support they need for the flight itself. I wear my body braid. It gently supports my posture and helps reduce strain on unstable joints during long periods of sitting. I also bring a neck pillow and a small pillow for my lower back. These tiny comforts go a long way in preventing subluxations or stiffness, especially on longer flights. It's all about creating little zones of support in a space that's not made with people like me in mind. Now let's talk about the hardest part, the mental monster. That voice that says, "You don't look sick enough. You're exaggerating. People will think you're faking it." That voice used to keep me from using tools that would have helped. I'd push through symptoms, pretend I was fine, and later, I'd pay for it. I'd collapse from fatigue, or get hit with intense dizziness, or suffer through joint pain that could have been avoided. That voice is loud. But this time, I decided not to listen. I honored my needs without shame. And something beautiful happened. Not only did I feel physically better, but I also had the chance to educate people around me. I talked to my seatmate about EDS. I shared what invisible illness looks like. I explained why someone who looks young and fine might still need mobility support. These moments felt powerful, like advocacy through lived experience. When I got to my destination, I didn't crash. I didn't spiral into a flare. I was able to enjoy where I was going because I had honored what my body asked for. And the best part? No one judged me. No one gave me dirty looks or called me dramatic. Everyone was kind. If you live with a chronic illness or invisible disability, this is your reminder. You don't have to earn accommodations. You don't have to look sick to deserve support. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to protect your energy. And maybe, just maybe, by showing up authentically, you're helping someone else feel seen too. Thanks for being here. And if you've ever traveled with a chronic illness, I'd love to hear your strategies in the comments. Let's learn from each other.